It's time for yoga. Get a yoga blanket or a towel and let's do a roll. And you can decide how big or small it's gonna be. It's gonna go under your shoulders and maybe you change it depending on the day. You can put it on your mat and then you're gonna lay down so that right underneath your shoulder blades goes over that roll. And you'll place your feet on the floor, and then once you get onto the floor, I want you to intentionally roll your shoulders all the way onto the floor so that it opens up your chest, and then cactus out the arms. And that's how you'll start. We'll take 5 breaths right here. Maybe for a couple breaths, you move the knees back and forth. Just getting a small little bit of movement going through the spine, really focusing on the breath moving into the chest. One more time. We'll take the knees back to neutral. And we'll go ahead and move our elbows in over the blanket and guide ourselves back up off of the roll. Move it out of the way. And then from here you can flip over and we'll go straight into a child's pose just to kind of counteract that movement. So you'll put your knees on the floor, put your toes together, take a big breath. Exhale, sit back. And let your fingertips walk out so that you stretch out this area in between each rib. Big breaths. Exhale, you maybe scoop your fingertips a little bit further. Good. One more breath right here. And then paw into those hands, activate your arms and scoop yourself up back to tabletop position. Put your knees underneath your hips and inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. Do a few cat-cows. Follow your own breath. One more time, really pushing into those hands. And on the exhale, you really push those shoulders up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin towards the chest. And float back to neutral on the inhale. Take another big breath right here. Exhale, sit back onto your knees. From that seated position, you'll sit up nice and tall. Tuck the rib cage in, roll the shoulders onto the back away from the ears. Take a nice big breath. Exhale out the mouth. Good. Inhale, walk those hands up towards the ceiling, opening up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Let those hands fall back down. Tuck the chin towards the chest. And then on the next inhale, go ahead and take the left ear to the left shoulder, opening up the right side of the neck. Take a big breath. Exhale, drop that shoulder away from the ear a little more. Get heavier. Good. One more big breath. Tilt the chin back a little. Exhale, bring the chin back to chest. Inhale, float the neck open to the other side. Good. Settle in there on the exhale. Let the shoulders get heavy. Take a big breath. Exhale, sink in a little more. Good. Let the belly be nice and strong still. On the inhale, tuck the chin back a little bit. And then exhale, pull it back in, chin to chest. Good. Inhale, roll those shoulders up. Exhale, roll the shoulders onto the back, bringing the vision back up to neutral. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist open to the left. Bring the left hand behind you. Take a big breath. Exhale, move the spine back to neutral. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float open towards the right. Right hand goes behind you. And again, you take a nice big breath. Good, one more. Exhale, float back to neutral. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring those hands out in front of you and make your way to tabletop position. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, around the spine just to get a little bit of movement going, and then back to neutral. And just like we've done before, you're gonna roll the shoulders onto the back and you're gonna leave the hips where they are, and you're gonna inhale, drop the chest and bring the shoulders together on your back. Good, keep looking down on the exhale. You push the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Good, do 2 more. Inhale, inwards with the chest. Exhale, push back out. 1 more. Exhale, let those go back up. Good, come back to neutral. Plug those shoulders back into the arm bones and then come down onto your forearms. Roll the shoulders onto the back, take a breath. Exhale, widen the knees, sit back, child's pose. Good. Maybe even bring those hands back behind you. Take a couple deep breaths here. Let the shoulders roll over the knees. You can put your block underneath your forehead. One more breath right here. Exhale, start to walk those hands back out in front of you. Remove your block and then inhale into the back of the heart. Exhale, bring yourself back up to tabletop position. Good, bring those knees underneath the hips. We'll play with a little bit of strength. So after you have your knees set, bring them back maybe an inch or 2. And then inhale, float forward. Get a little bit of movement in on those wrists and also a little bit of strength moving. Bend the elbows a little bit. Good. Exhale, float back. Get a stretch moving through the back of the heart. Pull the shoulders onto the back. Good. Widening that wingspan. Inhale, move forward. Bend the elbows a little bit. Get a pressure on the wrist and a little bit of strength moving through the arms. Exhale, float back. Push your hips towards the back of the room. Widen the wingspan. Lift the elbows a little bit. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, float forward. Bend the elbows, a little bit of strength. Exhale, come back to neutral. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. Good. Tuck all 10 toes. Inhale into the back of the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out those feet. Take a few breaths. Strong through your hands. Roll the shoulders onto the back away from the ears. Relax your jaw. Good. Inhale, come all the way to the tippy toes. Sit back down onto your knees. And then drop into a seated position. Give your shoulders a break. Good. Take a couple circles. Okay, so from your knees, you'll just drop over onto your sit bones, rolling over onto our backside. So take a big breath. Exhale, sink down 1 vertebrae at a time. Let the back of the head be the last thing to connect to the floor. Go ahead and open up the chest again, but this time you don't have the roll underneath you. And then just see what that feels like. Move the chest open a little bit more. Take a big breath into the top of the belly. Good, and then on the next breath, bring those knees in. Take the hands around, hug the knees into the belly. Give yourself a little squeeze. Feel the low back lift up a little bit. Good, and maybe you roll the knees side to side. And then come back to neutral here. And on an exhale, drop those knees or the soles of the feet back down to the floor here. And then take the soles of the palms of your hands into the crease between your legs and your hip bones and just give a little push. Take a breath. Good. Slowly let those hands fall back down to the floor. Take the left leg, Straighten it out all the way towards the ceiling, and then bend that knee. Bring the ankle in towards the opposite thigh. Really letting that knee fall open away from the body, create length here in that hip space. Take a big breath, and then exhale, pull that opposite leg in, grab behind the knee if you can. If not, you can just walk it in. If you have something that you could prop your foot on, you can do that. Or you can even use a strap around your knee or grab onto your pants. And get a little figure 4 stretch in. Take a breath. And exhale, start to sink out of that. And then we'll go ahead and just straighten out this bottom leg. Slowly walk that foot out nice and straight. Good. And then you let this foot that's pointing outwards drop down onto the floor, and you open up for a twist. The left hand's gonna cactus out. Good. Take a big breath here. And stay here for a few moments. From that twist, we'll start to unravel. So you'll just start to straighten out that left leg that's folded up. And as that leg goes towards the bottom of the mat, the hip gets heavy and you start to roll back over onto your back. And you flatten out like a starfish. Take a big breath. Good. And then start to bring those feet back to the ground. Knees are pointed up. And we'll bring the right foot, straighten it out. And then bring that shin over the opposite thigh. Open up that knee, big space. Good, big breath. Exhale, you start to pull that leg in. Maybe you grab it, maybe there's a strap, whatever you did on the other side. You just get that figure 4 stretch going. And you use your breath here. Good, and then on the next exhale, you slowly release your grip on that, lower that leg back down, and slowly straighten that leg all the way to the ground. Good, and then the sole of the right foot is gonna swoop over onto the ground and guide you to twist over, and the right arm cactuses out. And you take a few breaths here, opening up through the chest. And another breath. Exhale, swoop that leg down towards the bottom of the mat, and your hip gets heavy. It guides you over onto your back. Take a breath, starfished out. You'll inhale those feet back onto the floor, knees pointed up, palms facing down onto the mat. Take a big breath. Exhale, push into the feet, lift the hips. Tuck the chin towards the chest for a bridge pose. Good. Push into the feet. Activate all 4 corners. Lift and spread the toes. Let those legs get stronger. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Let the tailbone be the last thing to reconnect to the floor. Good. Take a big inhale. Exhale, push those hips back up. Good. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Good. Maybe windshield the knees back and forth a couple times. Start to feel your energy settling in, preparing for Shavasana. Those knees come back to neutral, and you guide the legs down to the ground. Good, start to soften in, put on your favorite song, and relax.